Okay, so this is Homestead Miami Speedway. This is the Cup Series. Thought I would take a quick lap around here and then kind of talk about the setup I use and everything to get there. I'm going to go through, I think this is probably one of my better laps. This is somewhere in the 31.9 range. I think my best is a 31.8. This is a pretty respectable lap. There's a couple more afterwards that are maybe not quite as good, but anyway, let's go through this lap. Then I will talk about the nuances of it and show the setup at the end. So here we are. Coming in. It's real easy to overdrive. You feel like you can dive deep into the corners. When you do, you wind up paying for it on exit. Good rule of thumb is that white line is at the bottom. You can stay close to it all the way through the exit corner. That's a good lap. If you overdrive the corner, you're going to wind up pushing up on exit. If you're down here by the white line like I am, that's going to be a good lap. See right there, I just ran a 31.962. So this next lap is about the same. So let's kind of slow this down and critique some things here and show some nuances to it. Homestead Miami is unique in shape and unique in banking, so it drives a little different. I want to point out as you're coming in, turn 1 to me just seems more narrow than turn 3, and it makes it, I think, a little bit harder to drive. But as you're coming in, you're hard on the throttle. I call it kind of a late entry into the corner. It seems like it's very easy to get to the bottom, and if you get to the bottom in this corner too quick, then you're either going to wind up on the apron or you're going to have a hard time on exit. So you want to ease your way into the bottom by kind of just barely turning the wheel with this setup. You're still hard on the throttle till you're a little bit before this black marker here on the outside railing. So you're letting off just a little bit before you get to that. And then you're going to let the car drift for just a second to kind of settle at the bottom. And as you feel the car settle, then you're pretty much hard back on the gas. And as you listen, you're not out of the throttle very long. And when you're exiting, you want to stay close to this white line. If you dive harder into the corner, you're going to push up on exit, it seems like. So staying down here at the bottom on exit really helps you pick up a tenth or two on the lap times. So let's keep rolling here and talk about this lap a little bit more. So currently, I said this seems a little bit wider and easier to navigate. You got this black sign here. That's about the point you let off. In turn 1, maybe it's because it's narrower, maybe it's just a perception of being narrower because of pit road being there. But you let off a little before that sign in turn 1, but in turn 3, you're pretty much driving up to it before you let off. Same concept. Let the car settle down to the bottom of the track and then keep it low on exit here. Once the car settles, you pretty much get hard on the gas. I think I do one more lap here before I go through the setup, but it's not quite as good. So I wanted to put some videos together. The videos that I've seen to see are post really fast lap times. I have 2 complaints with them. One is it seems like those setups a lot of times are designed to post one really fast lap, but they burn through the tires so fast that they don't last for a full run. Your car becomes extremely hard to drive, and your lap times fall off pretty quickly. The other is they seem to be designed for a setup that's for an elite racer, okay? And for the 99% of us that aren't elite racers, those setups seem to be hard to drive. I wanted to come up with setups that post good, fast lap times, maybe not the absolute fastest, but they are easy to drive and they will last. These are setups that you can be a kind of a new driver all the way up to a pretty competitive driver, and I think you'll be happy with these setups. So let me walk through some of the things that you'll notice in this setup and that are a little bit different maybe than what you see in others. One is, you noticed when I was going into the turns there, the car was getting a little loose on entry, so you may want to increase the wedge a little bit. It's hard to see here where I've got it at, but it's at 49.4%. If you find you're a little loose on entry, by all means, crank that wedge up a notch or two. That will help that loose entry condition. These settings here, the bump and rebound settings, you'll notice they're kind of all over the place, and that's different than how other people seem to do it. The bump and rebound settings are very good for addressing a specific condition in a specific part of the corner. So whether it is entry, middle, or exit and loose or tight, you can use these bump and rebound settings to address a problem that is in a specific part of the corner. Whereas if you're going to adjust spring rates or tire pressures, that's going to affect the entire corner. This is kind of your fine-tuning stuff if you're trying to deal with a specific part of the corner that you're having problems with. Other things that are a little different in this setup than what you'll see in others is the front weight. I've got the front weight pretty light. One of the reasons I do that is I think that a lighter front end helps the tire wear a little bit. The other is I see a lot of people have setups where the front weight is 51, 52% or higher. And this is my opinion, it just seems like when the front weight is heavier, if I'm trying to adjust the car, I have to take a bigger swing at it to get a change in how the car drives. So with the lower front weight, I can have just a small change in tire pressure, quarter pound or half pound, and I can tell a difference in how the car drives. If I've got a heavier front, it seems like you got to take a bigger swing. You got to go a pound or 2 pounds to be able to really get a difference in how the car drives. So those are a couple of things that are a little bit different here. Another thing here is this is the track bar. And for me to run a 12 right track bar, that's probably as high as I run anywhere. And to have a gap of 1.5 inches between the left track bar and the right track bar height is very different for me too. Usually those are within 0.5 inch to 1 inch of each other. Final thing that I think is unique about Homestead Miami is I've got an extremely stiff front sway bar here. The car seems to react better with that. So it seems like you're fighting a lot of different conditions in Miami because of the uniqueness of the track. But this seems to be the best way I found to get around here fastest with a very stiff front sway bar. Last point is I've got a rear end ratio of 3.5. That is for a 1.5 mile track. That is about as low geared as I run anywhere. Again, that's because of the unique shape of Homestead Miami, not just the shape, but the banking. So anyway, that's the setup. I think it's really easy to drive. You can put some really competitive lap times out there with it. If you like this, if it was at all helpful to you, please, by all means, like the video and subscribe to the channel. If there is any questions you have, or if there are specific tracks or setups that you would like to see, let me know. I'd be happy to put together a video for it. And I also have videos up there that address tight and loose conditions and what each one of these adjustments do and how you adjust that to correct the tight and loose. So that's been one of the more popular videos I've done. So please check that out if you're wanting to know how to adjust your car. And like I said, hope you like the video, and thank you for watching.